We have two more classes after this. So today we'll try to finish ethics in HR, and then tomorrow and day after, I think we will take up the last module, ethics in human resource. So most of you must have some idea about what is human resource management or what is human resource. Why is it that manpower is called human resource? Any answer? Somebody is trying to tell something? Or you are still on mute? You are on mute. Hello, DDC ru ke achanti? Can you unmute the participant?
Yes, sir.
What is HR? Human resource management. Why is called we are calling human resources? And why we are calling manpower as human resource?
Sir, good morning, sir. Subrat this side.
Good morning.
Sir, HR is most of important department in any organization because
I'm asking why is it called an resource?
Resource because they are just finding the suitable candidate for as per requirement of organization. From I mean from suitable website.
What is it? Can you define what is a resource?
Yes, sir. Resource means they're just as per organization, it is required for I mean for required for production something and
sir, this is Srikanth, sir.
Yeah.
The right person in right place is the main purpose of resourcing the people.
That is okay. But why? What is a resource, and why manpower is called as resource? That is the question. Basic question I'm asking.
Resource is many types, sir. In the various.
So resource is who is putting any value to the organization.
Resource brings in value to the organization.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, resource human is a resource because in a company all the resources are non-life, but to use those resources, human is needed.
Yes. That is what you have: money, machine, and material. Everything as resource because they are the input to make something. And without using human resource, you can't even run a machine. There are automatic machines, okay, but at least someone is needed to switch on that machine, if not operate that machine. And when there is some breakdown and all, you need people to work around that. Similarly, when you have people working around, you also need other people to look after them. You need also people to look after the society to minimize the issues coming out of a project or a plant and all that. And without human involvement, it is very difficult to run any business or anything.
Yeah, humans are called a resource because by developing human skills, other human can be benefited and resource can be utilized.
Okay. So now we will read about what should be the ethical approach for a company to manage its human resource. And you all know, because you all are working somewhere, or most of you are working somewhere, and you also feel bad when your organization doesn't take care of you. Yes or no? Suppose somebody misses his promotion, suppose somebody misses his increment, suppose somebody misses some possibilities of advancement in career, some training opportunities or something like that, or suppose at certain point of time you are denied leave, you are denied some relaxation which you wanted because you have put in hard work and all that. So every time there is an issue, and this is one of the biggest challenge for any company to manage its resources. And nowadays, young people, they are less committed in terms of loyalty and all. Less committed, I mean, is they are ready to move if better opportunities are available. Earlier, moving out was difficult. Even in my time and other places. And before me, people would like to join and finish up in the same company. So, but nowadays things are changing. Attrition is one of the biggest issues a company has to handle every day. So, certain issues in human resource management, ethical issues are one of them is sexual harassment. In I think some days back, the minister, Haryana sports minister, has to resign, who was a former hockey captain of India, and that is again based on complaint of sexual harassment. Similarly, in US last, I think 2-3 years back, Infosys had to pay a hefty amount in millions of dollar for compensation towards sexual harassment in US office, because in those countries laws are very strict, and people have to, when a company have to be very responsive in these matters. The next is discrimination on the basis of religion, age, sex, and so on. There are so many discriminations. Till now, the payment terms for a lady worker or a gents worker was, in many cases, are different. May not be in government offices where for the same post you can't give two salaries, but when in private sector you can give you can define any salary at any point of time. And one of the decision by Cricket Control Board of India was that they equated the salary of women's cricket team with the male cricket team. So that was lauded very strongly all over India. People appreciated that. And there are many till very recently. And today morning I read one article in Times of India that based on the recent movement in for equality of women in army. Now ladies have been posted in Siachen also, and so they have been fighting. There are Supreme Court cases and all that. So, and there is an age-old bias in many work, many places, many things. Age-old bias on regarding discrimination based on sex and age. You always know people prefer younger people to work. So recruitment beyond age is impossible. If you leave a job at a middle age, then you are more into crisis. Then you have more chances at a younger age. So all that is there, and that can be one case of discrimination, and can be a case of ethics in human resource. Occupational health and safety. This is one of the biggest thing. India has been neglecting these for quite a long time, but late 90s or early 2000, things have started improving. Now we are giving a lot of emphasis on this. We talk of environmental impact of any project, but occupational impact of the people who are working in those companies are also exposed to environmental issues or health issues because of the conditions in which they work. So all that has to be taken very seriously. And earlier it was neglected, but nowadays it is there. There are standards of occupational safety, occupational health and all. Issues relating to fairness of employees or employers' work. The work you are doing, whether it is fair or not, that also is now becoming an issue. You can't assign any type of work to anyone. So that is again a part of ethics in human resource. Issues surrounding the representation of employees and the democratization of workplace, trade union, etc. Many companies, they find ways and means to curb trade unionism in their organization, because in India, in the late 60s, 70s, 80s, and even early 90s, union strikes and all have really made life miserable. Nowadays, things have changed after globalization and all. and also change in labor rules. Calcutta was once the you can say commercial capital of India at one point of time, and that is long. When I'm telling that even long back, even when the British started ruling India, that was also the case. But unfortunately, today, if you see Calcutta, that is which was ruled by communists for around 35 years, things have changed drastically. Now the western coast of India is commercially more ahead than any eastern state. And Kolkata has lost its leading position from business point of view. And that is also mainly due to these trade unionism. Trade unionism up to a point of protecting the workers and the employees' interest is okay, but when that movement starts hampering the progress of the company, then it becomes a difficult issue. Issues affecting the privacy of employees, workplace surveillance, drug testing, many things are there. Even I have heard people opposing the attendance, which is based on biometric and other systems. Many people are feeling that it's a invasion into their privacy. So you have to take those things into stride and make them understand what you are trying to do. You have to be very transparent in these issues. Issues affecting the privacy of employer. So whistleblowing. RTI, most of you must be aware of RTI, right to information.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
For many people, this is one of the weapon to dislodge or disorient or disrupt many working of many organizations. In government offices and in many organizations, the RTI things are really hampering the progress. Of late, I was discussing in some discussion with one of the vice chancellor of a university, and he was talking like that RTI by some of the staffs is making life miserable. I mean, the questions they are asking are making it impossible to even reward somebody for good work and punish somebody for bad work. So something like that. He was expressing his helplessness on that, and so that is what is a big issue. So the RTI came to give people an a weapon or a means to rectify something which is incorrect. But now that is in India, that is being used for disrupting things. So similarly to trade unionism, as the example of Bengal I gave. So in whistleblowing also is a similar thing, where somebody in the company tries to bring to the notice of the management that something is going wrong somewhere. But that whistleblowing, if it unnecessarily done, then the progress of the company is hampered. Second, the second issue in whistleblowing is, you have to take care of the whistleblower. That is one of the biggest issues. In Bihar, in the last, I think maybe 5 years or 7 years ago, one engineer in the road construction or NHA or something, he started bringing to the notice of the management the irregularities done by the contractors, and he was killed. And that was a big issue on national level. So that is also an area where you have to ethics in HRM is when it comes into play. Issues relating to fairness of employment contract and balance of power between employer and employee. Those of you who are working, have you received a proper contract when you joined or something with detailed terms and conditions? You have?
Yes, sir.
Most
Yes,
of
sir. Appointment letter.
Yes, sir.
appointment letter cannot be termed as a contract. It's only an intent of appointing you. But do you have a detailed contract? I don't know. I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
asking.
Yes, sir.
How many of you? Most of you?
Yes, sir.
No, Srikant,
Yes,
I
sir.
understand you have. Many companies, in many private companies, this is an issue. They do not give a detailed contract. They will give you an appointment letter and said, when you join, you will get a detailed contract, but that is never given. I know many companies like that, because that's an way to harass the employee if he wants to leave or do something. Similarly, when many companies are not ready to give you relieving order, experience certificates, because they want to harass and these are issues of ethics in HR. So a company which is ethical has to bear in mind all this, and they should not in any way try to manipulate a employee by using these service conditions and all. So that is one issue. And the contract should not be one-sided. There are many organizations, they will ask you to join or sign a bond. And that bond will be like, if you do not serve for this many years, you will be Devi Datta. What is POSH and diversity policy? Devi Datta Pradhan?
Prevention of sexual harassment.
Okay. Okay. And what is diversity policy?
Diversity policy is for the women and destitute women. We can hire them. We can give them a livelihood promotion.
Promotion in what?
In kind of mainly in livelihood.
Okay. Helping them to earn their livelihood.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Like some of the insurance companies are doing this type of harassment. Yeah, Vrindavan Mahanti. He says that people, you are talking of appointment letter and this experience certificate, etc. Vrindavan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There are many cases. There are many, and there are companies even who are hiring doctors and all. They have bond period. I know one company which hires a doctor for 5 years, and they say that if you leave any time in 5 years, you have to pay 25 lakhs. In some companies, there are bond, but that bond reduces once you complete certain periods of. Suppose a company takes bond and like you have to work 5 years and pay 25 lakhs. Then what they will do generally, that if you suppose you have paid work for 4 years, then they will ask you only to pay 5 lakhs. So they reduce pro rata basis or something like that. But there are many companies who do that. And the most beautiful thing about that is, I have consulted in such cases. I have been privy to some discussion with lawyers and all. And these type of contracts are not valid in the court of law. But who an employee generally will not prefer to fight a case against his employer and go to the court. But these conditions are there, and many people who are seeking job have to sign those contracts. There are companies which are understaffed. They make you work for 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours, and all that. All these conditions are there, and that is where ethics in human resource comes in. In US, the big companies, they will not allow you to work beyond a particular time. They will not allow you to work if you work consecutively for so many days. They will ask you to go on leave, and forcibly they will ask you to go on leave. In India, people do not take leave generally, and they try to accumulate leave so that they can sell it at the end and get some money. But in US and Europe, after putting in some hours of service or some days of work continuously, you are supposed to take leave and relax. And the company will ensure that you do that. So these are also things which comes as part of ethics in human resource. The right side of the law. Breaches of ethics in human resource can lead companies into a world of legal trouble in both civil and criminal arenas. Actually, many issues in, the trade unionism is, the companies are afraid of trade unions because, once they unite, they can take you for ransom. They can make your life miserable. Because a single employee may not be able to fight, but a union can fight strongly. And there have been instances of union fighting it out and winning cases against big companies also. So that is where the companies also fear. And as I said, many companies, though they have conditions which are favorable to them, in the worst case, they will always try to avoid legal cases because that may bring disrepute to them. But it is always good that, rather than putting disadvantageous conditions to the employee, it is always better to work out in a proper way and address each situation in a more ethical way. Breaches of ethics in HR department are more likely to be reported by victims to regulatory agencies, labor court at least. And comprehensive ethics programs in place can avoid costly trouble regarding discrimination and hostile work environment issues, resulting in lower costs for litigation and out-of-court settlements. Safeguarding the company reputation. In the business world, legal trouble can introduce additional challenges to employers. As news outlet and ethics watchdogs organizations spread the word about companies' misdeeds. So if people start listening or hearing that your company is not a good employer, then it will be difficult for you to even hire good employees. So you have to really safeguard against that in your you have to safeguard your image to counter that. Safeguard the company's reputation. Discrimination issues, sexual harassment, and unfair employment policies can land companies on the front page of consumer or business-focused publications, damaging a company's reputation among consumers, potential strategic partner, and potential future employees. Gaining a reputation as an ethical employer can help to attract the top talent in your industry from a wider area, and employees seek to find them the most beneficial employment relationship they can. Opposite holds true as well. If job applicants see your company as an unethical employer, the most skilled, experienced, creative, and productive applicants are likely to put their resume elsewhere. So you have to be very careful about ethics in human resource. And this helps in increasing the employees' loyalty to the company. Treating employees ethically can garner long-term employees' trust and loyalty, which conveys a range of distinct benefits to employer. Anyone is from Jamshedpur area in your group? And if you come across people in Jamshedpur, Jamshedpur, if you have visited or seen, Jamshedpur is a place which which has many factories of Tatas, and it is a place which is a small cosmopolitan city type of thing. Even though it's not like Calcutta, Bombay, Delhi, or Madras, but it is still has a cosmopolitan hue because many people from many parts of the India came to work there. And there have been instances in Jamshedpur that because of the working conditions and the good employment conditions, where TISCO has taken, Tata Steel has taken care of their employees well, you will find 3 generations have been there. The grandfather, the father, and the son. The son is now working. Both the grandfather and father have worked in TISCO and they have retired. So such instances are not rare in Jamshedpur area. And that is how people have settled in and around Jamshedpur city. Because Jamshedpur was established by Tata from a village level thing. And there are now, it is a very big flourishing city. So loyalty of employees is a great thing. If you have loyal employees, it is always, that provides some continuity, and your image or whatever systems you have put in is easy to maintain. If there is a lot of attrition, lot of changeover from people are joining and going, then every time you have to invest in building a system or system of ethics and code of conduct and all that. You have to keep people training on that. So you will always prefer people working for longer time with your company, and ethics in HR will promote that. Page number 11. I will take screenshot. Okay, just a minute. Done. Vrindavan. Okay. Then promoting ethics programs. A solid reputation as an ethical employer does not happen on its own. Savvy, ethics-conscious business owners put comprehensive ethics program in place to display a firm commitment to ethics in every area of business, including human resource. I know during COVID, there are companies in India who have helped their employees tide over COVID situation on a very intimate basis. It means they have set up because many factories are in smaller towns and remote areas, and in those areas it is not possible to even have a COVID ward, COVID hospital type of thing. Even though government in many places have put in facilities, but still, and oxygen was the issue, everything was the issue. But companies have a lot of resources, they can mobilize many things. So in many small companies, they have converted small houses or small villas or apartments in their colony to COVID ward, and they have provided doctors, they have provided medicines. Medicines were difficult to obtain at that point of time. They have even taken care of their employees with food and all that, those who were quarantined. So these are all some examples of ethical behavior towards in human resource. There have been instances even in government departments and public sector organizations. There also big companies and organizations have invested in people's welfare during COVID time. I think Sakti Swarup Mahanti, I have been sharing all the PPTs with your group. I don't know if you have got it. I have sent it to Rasmi Rekha madam, and she must have shared all the PPTs by now, 3 PPTs. So once we finish this, you will get this PPT also. So that is the part of human resource, ethics in human resource. We have read ethics in marketing. We have read ethics in human resource. Anyone who wants to know something, we can talk, we can discuss. If you have any questions, anything we can discuss till 10 then or I will start module 4, so that at the end of the session or end of the classes, we will talk about questions. Anyone who wants to discuss anything on HR and marketing? Any questions? So should I go to module 4, module 5?
Yes, sir. You can start module 5.
Okay. So that we have time in the last to discuss about possible questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, I have a question. Hello.
Jore tiye kundu.
Sir, I have a question.
Please.
Sir, ओडिया रे कहूची suppose जने employee अछि जे कि माने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रे माने डिस्टरबेंस करछ, माने टाइम रे आसुनी, काम ठीक से करूनी, ठीक अछि। तो सेमते टाइम रे एचआर रो काम होची जे ताकू माने अलर्ट करबा ए विषय रे, आ जदी भी से न मानुची तहले ताकू डिमोशन किमा ट्रांसफर करा जाई परिबो। बट एट द सेम टाइम माने तार किछि फैमिली इशू रहउची, जहा द्वारा कि ताकू जदी दूर जागो ट्रांसफर करा जाउची, तो से जगह रे से माने प्रॉब्लम हबो ता फैमिली रे। तो से जगह रे हमें एथिकल डिसीजन केमति नबा, जहा द्वारा कि से ठीक भी हबो आ तार प्रॉब्लम भी सॉर्ट आउट हबो।
ये कहउचंती टिके हमु जानि पड़नी कल ना टिके कहले।
प्रभंजन सर, प्रभंजन।
ओके, प्रभंजन। First and foremost, जो example देले, सेथरे is it that the issue you are talking, that our family issue achi, is that issue genuine or not? That is one aspect which has to be examined.
Yes, it is genuine.
No, I'm not. Let us talk about it. You are talking about some example, maybe some live example, but I'm saying in general. Now see, what for you are doing a job, and you are doing a job for what?
For living.
For your earning your living. How can you expect that without doing anything, you will be compensated over a long period of time? Is it ethical to expect that? I understand the issue at home. I am not denying that, but I will come to that. I'm asking, if you have some problem, okay, but when you are working somewhere, is it ethical to expect that you will be able to carry out that work without attending office in time, without attending to your work on a longer period of time. You should not. And I think that is unethical on the part of the employee also. Now, if the situation at home is really bad, there is always ways and means to address that. It is not necessary that you have to send him on a transfer, you have to suspend him or take him out of job. But the issue is the employee should also have some commitment to the company. Suppose you have an issue in your home that you cannot put in work for from a particular right. It is difficult for you to come at 9 a.m. I'm just giving an example. In this case, I have been hearing everywhere. Wherever I am teaching business ethics, people who are working are having the same issue. Now, suppose you are working somewhere with and you are unable to come at 9 o'clock because some issues at home front. So if you can think of coming at 10, some adjustment can be done. But if you suppose your office is 9 to 5 and you are coming at 10:30, 11 and you want to go at 5. If you want to have both these apple in both your hand and you do not want to give anything to the company, then it becomes difficult for the company to accommodate you for longer period of time. And in that case, and second, if you are assigned your work, some work, and if you are able to do it within the time you are managing to come, that should not be a big issue then. But just expecting that without delivering whatever is expected of you, you will keep you want the company to go out of your way, out of its the way to help you for a longer period of time is unethical. And I don't think the company should do that, because that will discourage people who are working seriously. They will always feel bad. They will not feel good. They will be feeling really bad and they cannot manage with that. So my point is, company can relax timing, company can relax working conditions to some extent, but the employee have a moral responsibility to see that whatever is assigned to him is adhered to. You can ask, suppose there are lady employees, they have a small baby in the house. They can ask for not going out on tour. They cannot leave the child and go, so they can ask for something. Someone else can go for them. But if they will not come in time, they will neither work for full hours. They want everybody to share that. That can go up to, suppose, 2 months, 3 months, okay. But how much long the company can sustain? It is impossible. So compromise has to be on both sides. But that's true for a limited period of time. It can't be for every time. I don't know if I am convinced, you are convinced, but this is what is my.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And anyone else having some other view?
Hello, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
No, sir, you are right, sir.
Subrat, you want to say something now?
No, sir. Whatever you said, sir, that is correct. You are saying as a general, but I don't know who was saying that was as per any particular case might be.
Okay. So next is ethical issue 2. So next, in this course, we have ethical issues in IT in this module and healthcare. Then we have ethics in engineering, ethics of public servant, and that is the last one. So we have four areas of ethics, ethical issues in 4 areas. Now, what are the issues in ethics in IT, in information technology? Any idea? Every day you are facing this.
Moonlighting, sir. Moonlighting.
Networking issue. Sir, data security.
Data security, moonlighting. So all of you understand what is moonlighting? I don't know if your friends understand what is moonlighting.
What, sir?
Yes, sir.
All your friends in the group understand what is moonlighting. Somebody said moonlighting is an ethical issue.
Moonlighting is an ethical issue, sir.
Yes, I agree. But I'm saying there are 100 people in your group, so whether they understand what is moonlighting. Or if it is better that some who said about moonlighting, please explain what is moonlighting.
It is doing again other companies' work.
It's actually working for two companies at a single time, one for daytime and one for night time. Mostly in COVID time, most people work for two companies. That's Wipro has also removed 300 people for this region.
Actually, work from home ro advantage neikri kichhi loko ଅନ୍ୟ company ପାଇଁ କାମ କରୁଥିଲେ, and that has been the issue of moonlighting, and that is where people have, and that is one of the most unethical thing for a employee. So working full time with other employer
But sir, before some days, as I think, there is a news regarding moonlighting that it is ethical. I think something. Exactly, I'm not remembering the news. But,
you are talking that the news was saying it was ethical.
No,
yes, sir. Some news is saying ethical. It's like some Zomato people. They are working in two jobs at a time. One for part-time and one for full-time. That kind of job, it is ethical. But for if you have some policies or contract signed with like employer, then it is unethical.
See, the most unethical part will be, suppose you are working in an IT company on some software areas and all, and because taking the advantage of work from home, you are working for another competing IT company in the same. So that is where the moonlighting will be most unethical. But suppose you are working like Zomato and Swiggy, where you are a part-time, when you are not a full-time employee, and you are taking advantage of your time and you are getting two earnings, that is another issue. But if you are a full-time employee in one of the organizations where you have signed a contract, you have an appointment letter, you have a full-time contract with the company, it is in no case it can be ethical. It can't be ethical. You are working as a part-time worker, you can work in two companies. Nobody can stop you from doing that. But if you are a full-time employee, you have to have one company only. It is like, if you are married to someone, then you are doing something, it is extramarital. It is not legal at all. So similarly, if you are a full-time employee in a company, working for another company surreptitiously is not at all acceptable. That is never ethical. No news can say it is ethical. So that is
also, if you check for foreign countries, they are having domestic partners.
I could not get you. Please tell one more time.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, I'm giving a case. Let's say if someone has some family issues and the person is earning the salary for as a full-time employee, can never be beneficial, or maybe cannot be maintained fully for his family. If he can give some more time to do another job or part-time work, then is it unethical?
Yes, it is unethical. If you have committed to somebody that you will work for full time and then you are doing for someone else, it is not correct. You can be a freelancer. Who can stop you from doing that? You want a security at one hand and you also want extra money from somewhere else. How can it be ethical? I said about that, no, you have a wife in your house and you are moving around with another girl. That is not correct.
So that's another thing, I think.
No, you think that way, but it is basic. See, why are you taking a full-time job? It is because of security or something else?
Security.
And you want to have security at one hand, and because of low pay, you want to earn more by working for another organization. How is it ethical? then you leave this security, you be a freelancer, work for 5 companies, earn more. Who stops you from doing that?
Sir,
So it
he
is,
must have some
you cannot
family
sure.
issues.
See, there will be issues. There
He
will be
must have some family issues for which he
Sir,
require more.
my question is, hello.
any family issue, any constraints will not be treated. The excuse for family issues cannot influence ethics. Ethics is very clear. Yeah. Next question.
Sir, my question is, if I am working for a company from 9 to 6, and after that free time, if I am working for another company which is not in that category, suppose I am working for a IT company, and after my job time over, I working for a from a grocery store or delivery boy, is that an ethical issue or not?
See, if you are working in a unorganized sector, nobody can. I mean, it's a ethical issue anyway. But in a organized, if you are working in an unorganized, non-competing sector, you can have some excuse. But the issue remains the same, that you have taken a point. See, because of some reason or other, you are not getting a good salary which can support your family with one job. Yeah, I agree with that. But that is because of your qualification or your experience or whatever. Now, if you have joined a company for full-time job and you are getting the benefits of all the full-time employee, and then you think that I will go and work somewhere and earn something more, till the time you are working in a unorganized sector like a grocery shop, if you are going there and helping them, it is okay. But if you again start working as a full-time, okay in the sense that I am saying, if you are not violating.
No, my question is, I am not hampering the time of the company which.
I understand your logic. I know that you are not hampering, but tell me, suppose you are working in an organization from 9 to 6, and then you are going somewhere and working on a full-time basis from 7 to 6 or 7 to 8 or whatever, 8 to or 10 to 6. So you are not hampering the time. So will it be ethical then?
I think it is ethical, but if extra.
Because you feel that way. Because you feel that way. Your constraint is only time. But it is not that way. It is not that. If you are taking, suppose, you are working in an organization full time, then what benefits do you get? Full time organization generally,
Full-time organization.
you get PF and all, and
PF, EPF, health
you have
insurance,
gratuity, PF and all. If you go into the rule, you can't take PF from 2 organizations at the same time. You can't take gratuity from 2 organizations at the same time. It is only if you are suppressing the facts and being able to do that, then it is okay. Otherwise, it is not okay. So please don't confuse by some excuse. Like somebody was saying family problems. You are now saying that I am not the time I am giving full time. But do you think if you keep on working for more than 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours, your efficiency will be same?
Sir, if I'm working in a full-time job, and then after I continue my own business, then it is ethical or non-ethical?
Your own business, what way you are doing, that nobody can just say that it is unethical because you are not working somewhere, you are pursuing something. But if your business starts influencing, or if your business starts hampering your job, then it will be unethical. Like
Shrikant.
Like I know some employees in a university. They go at suppose 10 and work diligently up to 1 or 2. Then they go for lunch because they have their own business, and they come at 5 and work again for 8. But that is not the way one should work. If you want to do business seriously, then you should do business. You want security because here you are getting a fixed salary every month, and there is no ଧୋଇ ନାଇଁ କି ମରୁଡ଼ି ନାଇଁ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ଯେମିତି କହନ୍ତି, but and at the same time you want a icing on the cake. So that is not correct. Somebody, Srikant or somebody was asked.
Srikant, sir.
Please.
Please. Sir, nowadays company are already giving the contract of you are doing, if you are committed to our company, then you are giving your whole and soul body to our company and timing also. Not you cannot provide any another job or giving the time to another job. Nowadays, every company has maybe may avoid the policies.
No, they are having that. That is what you are signing. If you are signing a contract, mostly it is written like that.
The second one is ethical or unethical. I'm just asking a question to Pravanjan. If thief is an ethical person or not ethical person? A thief who steal our money, properties, anything.
Why are you asking that?
Because here was the logic of that I am feeding my children. So this is ethical. This is point of view on the point of view of a thief. That is for ethical. But on the point of us, it is wrong. So I don't think Pravanjan can get my point also.
See, it is not like that. No, Pravanjan, you want?
Sir, this is Dusmanta here.
Yeah.
Sir, as most of the government doctor which are working in government sector also, they are working in some private clinic. So is there a government any rule ethic is there for the government employee?
Yes, there is government rule that you cannot work outside. There is earlier they were being paid. I don't know if that is being paid today, but earlier they were being paid non-practicing allowance because they were not practicing outside, so they were given some extra money. But I don't know whether they are getting that money now. You know, it is rampant in any medical colleges and all. You will not find them mostly in the department in the hospital, and you will find them in nursing homes and all. But that is how our society is running, but that is unethical. In private hospitals, the corporate hospitals, very few doctors can take the freedom of practicing outside. But you know, they are consultant, they are not full-time employees, so they can, after completing their job properly in the hospital, they can continue private practice. But government doctors are fully full-time employees, and it is not ethical on their part to do that. Similarly, school teachers, college teachers, government teachers running a coaching center and neglecting his classes is again unethical. I know in many university and colleges, teachers are not coming for teaching even. You know, they are more bothered about their coaching centers and all. College is just a pastime and they are wasting their time. And you know, in schools also, even in private schools also, there is a tendency in some of the private schools that, you know, the teacher doesn't give good marks to students if they do not attend their tutorials. So there are so many issues, and these are all unethical part, but we are deviating from human resource. We are getting into something else. So, okay, today is now it's over. We could not start.
Sir, one question.
Thank you, sir.
Whether guest lecture is a ethical or non-ethical? Like we're working in an IT company, the same technology someone wants to train to some people in an institute as a guest lecture. So is it ethical or non-ethical?
See, don't worry about that. In many companies, they have this policy that if you are a professional, you can go out and teach, you can take some payment for that also. So guest lecturing can be ethical depending on the policy. Suppose you are working in a company, government company, then it is not, generally you are not allowed to take that money. So there, if you are honorarily teaching somewhere, nobody can say it is unethical. But again, if you are working in a government college and as I said about taking some tutorials where you are earning a lot, then it is unethical. But if you are working in an IT company, going somewhere and teaching as an amateur, and even if you are getting some payment, that is, if the company allows that, then it is ethical. That can, if it is with the knowledge of the company and the company is ready to make you share the knowledge, then it is ethical. I think we should close because I have another class at 10:30 in DDC, so I have to go there now. Thank you. See you.